Something has shifted around Keith Urban, and those closest to him feel it as deeply as fans watching from afar. For decades, he was a steady presence in country music, dependable, polished, charming, quietly resilient. Recently, however, subtle changes in his behavior, priorities, and even sense of self have raised questions no one expected to ask about him. He isn't spiraling, but he's not the man the public thought they knew. Behind the headlines lies a complex story of talent, pressure, and old wounds. Keith's transformation isn't sudden, it's decades in the making, a rise shadowed by struggles that shaped him long before fame and fortune made him a household name. Early sparks of ambition. Keith's musical journey began at the age of 4 when his parents handed him a ukulele, planting the seed for a life defined by music. By 5, a Johnny Cash concert had ignited a vision he couldn't shake. He wanted to perform, no matter the cost. Growing up in Brisbane, Australia, he was surrounded by a father who loved country music and a home filled with sound. By 7, the guitar became his companion, and by 14, he was performing in bars and talent shows. Quitting school at 15, he fully committed to music. Ambition and urgency defined his adolescence, laying the foundation for a career that would eventually take him to the global stage while also exposing him to personal and professional pressures few could imagine. Early setbacks. Despite his talent, Keith faced rejection early on. At 9, he appeared on the Australian talent show Pot of Gold, only to be publicly criticized by Judge Barnard King, who dismissed country music as mediocrity. Keith clung to the single compliment he received, internalizing both praise and rejection. At 16, he tried again on New Faces, performing purely out of love for music, yet failed once more. The pressure to be good enough already intertwined with his identity. These early setbacks didn't crush him, they hardened him. By 1991, he released his first album in Australia, and a year later, moved to Nashville. The gamble was enormous, but the drive to succeed outweighed fear, and it was in these early years that the first challenges of adulthood, isolation, and industry rejection would shape him profoundly. Struggles in Nashville. Arriving in Nashville was far from the dream he had envisioned. Nights were spent in a battered van with his band, The Ranch, performing for just a handful of people. The band struggled, and the 1997 album's release led to its dissolution. Amid disappointment, he was introduced to cocaine, marking a dangerous new chapter. Fame seemed distant, and personal demons lurked in every quiet moment. His first rehab stay in 1998 was a pause, not a cure. The pressure, loneliness, and early insecurities from childhood persisted, laying a foundation for the ongoing struggle that would resurface even at the height of his success. It was a crucial period, shaping his resilience while exposing vulnerabilities few would later recognize. Love and relapse. By the early 2000s, Keith was rising rapidly in country music. Chart-topping albums and growing acclaim masked the private battles he continued to fight. Then, in 2005, he met Nicole Kidman at the Good Day USA Gala. Their connection was immediate, deep, and transformative. Married in 2006, Keith saw Nicole as a lifeline, a partner who could help him outrun his past. Yet addiction doesn't surrender to love. Within months, Keith relapsed. Alcohol and cocaine returned, threatening both his health and marriage. The confrontation with his own instability became unavoidable. Nicole, recognizing the subtle signs and emotional distance, staged an intervention. Her love and urgency became the catalyst that forced Keith to confront the truth he had long denied. He couldn't fight his battles alone. The path to sobriety. In October 2006, Keith checked into the Betty Ford Center, stepping away from the public eye. For months, he fought not the pressures of fame, but the deeply personal struggles that had shadowed him for decades. Emerging in January 2007, he embraced sobriety with a newfound clarity. This time, recovery wasn't a temporary pause. It became the organizing principle of his life. His music, personal decisions, and relationships all reflected this commitment. The discipline of sobriety transformed Keith into a different kind of artist, vulnerable, reflective, and intentional. The world saw the charm and talent, but what truly changed was the internal architecture of a man committed to rebuilding himself from the inside out. Reinvention through music. Keith's post-rehab albums reflected his evolution. Get Closer, 2010, Fuse, 2013, Ripcord, 2016, and Graffiti U, 2018, showcased both musical experimentation and personal growth. He blended country with pop, rock, and electronic influences, pushing boundaries that traditionalists hadn't expected. Lyrics grew intimate and reflective, tethered to sobriety and emotional clarity. Fatherhood and family life added depth to his music, while each success magnified the stakes of maintaining his recovery. Even as he expanded his sound and global profile, the effort to protect the balance of personal and professional life became increasingly evident, revealing that transformation, though inspiring, is rarely easy or linear. The price of fame. A turning point came in 2013 when Nicole was nearly hit by a paparazzo on a New York sidewalk. Though physically unharmed, the incident revealed the toll of constant public scrutiny. Keith, learning of it afterward, responded with a rare public plea for basic respect, highlighting his deep desire to shield his family from intrusion. From that moment, his demeanor in interviews shifted. Boundaries became sharper, privacy non-negotiable. A radio interview where he abruptly ended the conversation over invasive questions illustrated his newfound protective stance. Keith's approach combined control, respect, and subtle defiance, signaling a man determined to preserve the life he had painstakingly rebuilt. Internal pressures. While guarding his family from external pressures, internal tensions mounted. Tours, residencies, television appearances, and continuous creative output created a relentless cycle. Publicly, Keith appeared polished and limitless. Privately, maintaining that image drained him. By 2025, subtle but noticeable changes emerged. Withdrawal, impatience, and abrupt decisions suggested underlying unrest. Firing longtime band members wasn't just logistical. It reflected a deeper search for control amid uncertainty. For decades, he had rebuilt himself after addiction, supported a family, and managed career highs and lows. Yet even resilience has limits, and by 2025, the private weight of decades of personal history was unmistakable. A complex transformation. Keith Urban's story has always been defined by resilience. From early rejection to international stardom, from addiction to recovery, he has navigated extraordinary challenges. Yet 2025 marked a unique inflection point. His transformation, shaped over decades, is ongoing, emotional, and multifaceted. Fans and peers alike watch closely, aware that the public image of charm, talent, and discipline now coexists with the quiet pressures of a man who has experienced far more than most will ever know. The unfolding chapter promises complexity, showing that even the most resilient, disciplined figures are continually evolving in ways the public may only partially understand. The next chapter. Keith Urban's journey underscores that personal evolution rarely follows a straight line. The man who emerged from the Betty Ford Center, sober and reflective, has built a career, a family, and a life that balances extraordinary achievement with personal accountability. Yet he continues to confront the pressures of fame, creative expectation, and private challenges. His story reminds us that transformation is ongoing, that resilience has boundaries, and that even those who seem invincible must adapt and evolve. As fans, we watch not just the music, but the man behind it, curious, inspired, and deeply human. Keith Urban's next chapter promises growth, reinvention, and the enduring power of perseverance.